Tonight's second game of the Food Lion MVP Classic is an old-fashioned family feud. Freshman Jason Capel has led the young Tar Heels to a #3 national ranking. Tonight, for the first time, Jason takes on his dad's Old Dominion team. Jeff Capel has got the Monarchs off to a fast 6-0 start to 1998. For the Tar Heels to continue their climb to the top of the national polls, youth must be served as the Food Lion MVP Classic rolls on with the North Carolina Tar Heels and the ODU Monarchs next. The Food Lion MVP Classic continues next with North Carolina taking on Old Dominion. I'm Jim Zoki, and we will have North Carolina, third in the nation at 7-0, taking on Old Dominion. They've won their first 6 games. Let's go back courtside once again. Marty Brenneman along with Dan Bonner.
Thanks again, Jim. This matchup, of course, has a truly emotional subplot, Dan. The coach, Jeff Capel, against his son, Jason Capel.
Marty, it's not the first time that Coach Jeff Capel has had to go against a team that has one of his sons on it. His son, Jeff Capel, played for Duke a couple of years ago when they matched up, but Jeff told us before the game it doesn't get any easier.
Keep an eye on a couple of guys going to be in this ball game tonight. For Old Dominion, one of the truly great long-range shooters in all of college basketball in Mark Pogue.
Marty, generally, if a team is going to pull an upset against the #3 team in the country, they're going to have to get some help from three-point range, and Mark Pogue, as you mentioned, an outstanding three-point shooter. I think he has to have a big game for ODU to win tonight.
And for the North Carolina Tar Heels, he's been an unsung hero throughout his collegiate career in Chapel Hill. Why should this year be any different in senior veteran Ademola Okulaja?
Okulaja's really had a fine year, Marty. Everybody, and correctly so, has talked about the freshman. Capel has talked about Brendan Haywood, has talked about Ed Cota, but Ademola Okulaja has been outstanding on defense. He's rebounded the ball very well. His shot selection has been excellent. I don't know that he can play any better for North Carolina.
Well, the bottom line is another good second game matchup. The Old Dominion Monarchs facing the third-ranked team in the nation, the undefeated North Carolina Tar Heels. Back with the lineups after this from Food Lion.
The Food Lion MVP Classic is brought to you by Food Lion. We don't think it's funny to waste time or money. Buick and your local Buick dealers. Isn't it time for a real car? Nations Bank lends more money to small businesses than any other bank in America. Your Carolina Jeep dealers are proud to bring you the Food Lion MVP Classic. Jeep, there's only one. And Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
We're back in Charlotte for game number 2 as we take a look at the Advanced Auto Parts keys to the game.
One of the things that anybody has to do, and Old Dominion's got to do it tonight, is keep Ed Cota under control. You cannot let Ed Cota penetrate into the lane and make easy passes. North Carolina very big, aggressive on the offensive boards. Old Dominion has to own their own defensive boards. For the University of North Carolina, they have done an outstanding job this year with their decision-making, particularly their shot selection. I think that's what they need to do again today. They have to have the right guys taking the right shots at the right times. They have to use their size to put some pressure on the inside people of Old Dominion. Pressure with size is a big factor for North Carolina.
All right, it's the Old Dominion Monarchs and North Carolina Tar Heels, and we'll be back with the lineups and the tip after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. We're set to go with that matchup. Old Dominion and North Carolina as we take a look at the starting lineups for the two ball clubs here in the second game of this Friday night doubleheader. Food Lion MVP Classic for Old Dominion. Cal Bowdler, Mark Pogue, and Reggie Bassett up front. Mike Byers and Michael Williams in the backcourt. For North Carolina, Okulaja, the senior. The freshman, Chris Lang. The big guy, Haywood in the middle. And the back line of Ed Cota and Jason Capel. It's the second time in 4 decades that North Carolina opened the season with 2 freshmen in its starting lineup. The last time it happened was only 3 years ago with a couple of guys by the name of Carter and Jamison.
Well, Jeff Capel, the head coach from Old Dominion, is certainly happy that Carter and Jamison are not here.
Yeah.
Old Dominion, the favorite in the Colonial Athletic Association, off to a 6-0 start, playing very well.
North Carolina, 6 wins, 7 wins and no losses, and 41-4 for that man, Bill Guthridge, in his second year as head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So something's got to give tonight. One of these teams will walk away with its first loss of the season. And the tip control actually out of bounds as Bowdler and Haywood both slapped it over the end line. And the ball is going to be awarded to Old Dominion, and Byers will inbounds as the Monarchs get the first crack at it.
Marty, one of the reasons for the Monarchs' success this year have been the fact that Bowdler and Bassett have played very well inside, finishing plays effectively. That's going to be difficult against North Carolina's size, but they're going to have to figure out a way to get it done.
Mike Byers looking inside, off to Michael Williams. Out of the left pocket, there's Pogue. First shot of the night. Capel rebounds for the Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Marty, but there's Okulaja out pressuring that three-point shot. It's tough to shoot the ball over a 6'9" guy. Man-to-man pro to you.
Ed Cota absolutely brilliant in the early going for North Carolina. The turnaround misses by Haywood. Okulaja rebounds. North Carolina resets its offense. They work it low right to Haywood. Back out Okulaja. Thought about the three. Put it on the floor. And now they'll get it back off to Cota. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Okulaja off the screen for three. Byers picks up the loose ball.
Marty, this is a North Carolina team that's very comfortable running time off the shot clock.
Yep.
Pretty good defensive play there by Capel, knocking it away from Byers and out of bounds. But this is not a Tar Heel team that has to run up and down to be effective. With Ed Cota controlling the ball in the middle, North Carolina very good at running time off the clock and scoring late in the possession.
It's a homecoming for that young man, freshman Chris Lang out of Hunter Huss High School in Gastonia. There's the coach's son, Jason Capel.
And here's Williams, now that Cota has given up the ball, trying to keep it away from Cota. Excellent defense.
Good step-in defense by Bowdler on the bounce pass intended for Haywood. He knocked it out.
And here's the shot clock down to 12. And let's see if Williams is able to keep the ball away from Ed Cota. No.
Cota taking it inside, bank it up and in.
That's why you got to keep it away from him. What a play by Cota. And Marty, that was under 10 on the shot clock. Great patience by North Carolina. Much as we saw in the first game, Bill Guthridge very comfortable with Cota handling the ball in the middle at the end of the shot clock, just as Eddie Fogler's comfortable with B.J. Mackey doing.
Young man has tremendous court presence. Bassett pressured inside, and now the three on the way misfires. The ball kept alive, and Bassett comes out with it. Playing it back outside to Mike Byers. Byers, a senior from Rutgersville, Virginia. Williams, and now Pogue. He turns, shoots a turnaround. No good. He's 0 for 2 from long range. Cota up with the ball, leading it up ahead to Okulaja, and a little bit too much.
Okulaja was tangled up with Pogue down the court, and I don't think Cota saw Pogue. Pogue in no position to intercept it, but he was able to stop Okulaja from getting to the ball. Carolina in the man-to-man.
Old Dominion back with the ball. Mark Pogue whips it low right to Bowdler. Puts his move on the freshman Lang. Gets it back to Pogue. They've got a two-man game going. Bowdler with a turnaround. Off the baseline, nothing but net.
And that's a place where ODU ought to have some effectiveness. North Carolina doesn't really drop down to help out against the big guys. They let their big guys play them relatively one-on-one. And Bowdler, if you give him that much space, I think can hurt the North Carolina Tar Heels.
It's a 2-2 ball game. Almost 3 minutes deep into this half number one in Charlotte.
Haywood working very hard on the inside against Bassett.
Cota looking low, which he always does. Plays it back off to Capel. The freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia. Inside to Chris Lang. Back to Capel for three. And bingo.
With 2 seconds on the shot clock, Marty. ODU, a little bit different defensive philosophy. Their guards dive down to help out the big guys. That leaves Capel open. Takes the shot. Excellent shot selection. Excellent conversion.
Capel's 5th three-pointer this season in 11 attempts. It's 5-2 now. Tar Heels over the Monarchs.
Boy, Bowdler is asking for the ball inside, and they're not finding it.
There's Pogue. He's 0 for 3 from the floor. Bowdler with a follow. Up, in, foul call, Chris Lang. I tell you, Lang might have his hands full tonight.
I don't think there's any question that Lang is going to have his hands full tonight, Marty. Bowdler was open. Bowdler, a 6'10 senior. Lang, only a freshman. Bowdler is open inside. He's got position on Lang right here. He's got his hand up. He's calling for the ball. They don't get it to him. Now Lang doesn't block him out effectively. Bowdler just does a nice job getting to the basketball. Don't have to get in front of a defensive player when you're rebounding. you get even with him, and then you go fight for the ball.
Three-point play by Bowdler gets him even again. The Monarchs at 5-5 now. Hit the basket, hit the free throw, all tied up. 16-minute mark here in the first half, and here's Capel against the shorter Byers, off to Okulaja. They give it to the man they want to handle it most of the time. Cota beating his man out front, takes it to the paint, gets it off to Capel. He's in trouble. Good defense by Old Dominion.
Nice pass.
Pogue up, no good. He is still empty. And Okulaja with a rebound as he snatches it away from the taller Bowdler.
Old Dominion has been pretty effective,
Yeah.
Marty, with their man-to-man defense.
Jeff.
Oh, nice. You cannot cheat off the North Carolina big guys because out on the perimeter, Cota and Capel are very effective at finding them close to the basket.
7-5 Tar Heels. 4 fresh bodies will be coming on at the next opportunity for Old Dominion, and that 3 is the answer for Mike Byers at the other end.
Of course, last year for ODU, Byers and Pogue were the big offensive weapons, so they are very capable of scoring.
8-7, Old Dominion gets the lead. Capel works off of a Lang screen to the basket, lay it up, no good. And they're going to call a foul on Haywood. He was over the back of Bowdler, and that's going to be Haywood's first. We've got time out on the floor, 14:47 to go first half. Spirited beginning as the Monarchs lead the Tar Heels 8-7. Well, Old Dominion is up by a point, 14:47 to go, 8-7 the score right now as the two clubs head back toward the floor, and we show you some earlier action. First from Carolina's freshman Chris Lang.
Chris Lang shooting 68% on the year from the field, and one of the reasons is that he's got guys like Jason Capel getting him the ball in those kinds of positions. ODU, we mentioned, needs to have a big game from three-point shooters. They've missed a couple early, but Byers hits here. A little more offense, Marty, in the second half of our doubleheader than we saw early in the first half of our doubleheader.
Pierre Green has checked in for Old Dominion. One of 4 newcomers to the lineup. Freddie Bryant, a junior from Watson, Louisiana, is in the lineup. Clifton Jones is also in. Andre McCullum. So Jeff Capel getting in fresh bodies.
Bowdler stays in the game. North Carolina now in the zone defense. Shot clock is at 5.
Old Dominion trying to add to a 1-point lead. Here's Bowdler with a turnaround jump hook. No good. Lang rebounding. Capel with the ball.
Good defense by Lang again that time.
Brian Bursticker is in the lineup for the first time for the Tar Heels. Okulaja handles, gets the screen, and will take the 16-footer. Too strong, and the rebound controlled by Bowdler. The quick whip out to Pierre Green. At the other end, Old Dominion by a point. They get it inside to McCullum, and he is handled as he spun to the lane. He was hammered by either Lang or Bursticker, or possibly both of them.
It is Lang, and as a result, that's 2 fouls on Lang. This is really a nice move by McCullum. He's only about 6'6", but very quick. That pump fake gets Lang off his feet, and then he makes the smart play by going up into him and drawing the second personal foul.
So McCullum, the transfer from North Carolina State, they're counting on him for big things here in 1998-99. 6'6", sophomore out of Whiteville, North Carolina, will get one more shot as Michael Brooker comes in for the Tar Heels.
Coming into the game, Marty, ODU, excellent free throw shooting team, 73% as a team, and I think they're going to have to convert those types of opportunities.
And he misses them both. Brendan Haywood also back for North Carolina, and the Georgia native Brooker gets a rebound and picks up his dribble, gets it across and into the front court to Okulaja.
And the ODU defensive strategy is very obvious. Pierre Green now guarding Cota, doing everything he can, trying to keep the ball away from Cota.
Brooker gives it up. Bryant with the ball. McCullum goes for 3. So back and forth they go. Neither team getting it done offensively, and the Tar Heels throw it away.
And Jeff Capel is calling McCullum over to the bench. Number 4 McCullum is going over there before he goes down the court, and Jeff Capel is telling him, son, if you're going to bank it from 3-point range, it better go in.
13-13 to go in the first half. 8-7 Old Dominion.
McCollum on the year is now 0 for 8 from three-point range. So Jeff Capel telling him to change his shot selection.
Well, he apparently hasn't gotten the message because he's already jacked up 8 of them. Here's Jones almost coughing it up. He gets it back, and he'll try the 3. And that goes. Rolled around and finally one in. Clifton Jones is now 3 for 7 in his three-point attempts this season, Clifton Jones, and it's 11-7 now in favor of Old Dominion. And here's Cota running his man into a screen set by Bursticker, and Green is charged with a personal foul.
Marty, one of the things that a lot of people who play basketball and watch basketball don't understand is the importance of a dribbler who can actually run his man into a screen. You do that by getting your body very close to the screener and leaving the defender no place else to go. And Green that time ran into him full speed. You're allowed to run into the guy, but you have to stop. And Green didn't do it and picked up the foul.
Tar Heels trying to get their offense in gear here. Brooker has the ball knocked away. That's his and here's McCollum.
What quickness! And that dunk, Marty, went into about the 12th row. That went through so hard it bounced and went into about the 5th row back there.
13-7 now Old Dominion, and Michael Brooker having a tough time of it. He's turned the ball over again, and that time it results in a rather serious dunk, and he's stripped of the ball again. Here comes Freddie Bryant. The kickoff and the 3 on the way, no good.
Marty, the Old Dominion strategy is to force Cota to give up the ball and then not to let him get it back.
Cota drives, plays to Brooker. Haywood. No whistle. Now the whistle comes from Duke Etzel. And that'll be a foul against Old Dominion. Let's see if it'll be one that'll put Brendan Haywood on the free throw line.
North Carolina having a little trouble handling the ball. Okulaja loses it. Then watch this pass. Watch where Haywood catches it. Catches it with his knees, and then Bassett really does ring him up on the inside. He got his money's worth there.
Haywood, a good free throw shooter, at least early this season. 73%, gets 2 shots.
That is a dangerous way to catch the basketball.
It sure is. Bursticker and Brooker lead the lineup. Max Owens comes in along with Jason Capel. He made one but didn't make the second, but a whistle sounds, and maybe a lane violation against Old Dominion will give Haywood still another attempt.
I think that was Pierre Green, who was in a little bit too early. You know, when there's a 7-foot guy standing at the line, you really do want to block him out.
Yeah, you do.
Don't want to give him a basket, though.
So we've got a timeout following the 2 hits by Haywood. 11:46 remaining in the first half as you look at the McCollum jam one more time. Old Dominion by 4. We are back in Charlotte. Old Dominion 13-9. This is a quote from the Charlotte Observer. In this morning's edition, Jeff Capel talking about his son, Jason. He said, "Take me out of the equation and follow your heart." Very hard for the coach and me to give up on a player of his caliber, but as a dad, it was easy. A great piece this morning talking about Jason growing up and how he had assumed one day he'd play for his dad, and when it came to crunch time, as you saw the quote, his dad said, "Follow your heart." Treat it like a dad would treat it, and Jason Capel wearing the Carolina blue and white.
Man-to-man defense for the Tar Heels.
Here's Andre McCollum now to Clifton Jones. Goes baseline against Capel. Brings it back out. Plays it in the lane. And the ball batted away by Cota, but recovered by McCollum.
It is hand-to-hand combat between Haywood and Bassett on the inside.
The shot doesn't go. They got that off with only 3 seconds on the shot clock. Here come the Tar Heels back. Capel to the hole. Put it up and in.
And that's foul number 2 on Bassett, and he has something to say to Jason Capel.
What can you say?
Well, you'd say, please don't do that. I don't know, Marty.
I like that. Please don't do that.
We talked about North Carolina and their willingness to hold the ball if they have to run the shot clock down. That time, they show they're capable of scoring in transition.
4 bodies in, 4 bodies out for Old Dominion. It's pretty obvious that Jeff Capel is going to try and keep a fresh group of troops out on the floor as much as he can as he watches his son bang in the free throw. And it's a 13-11 ball game in favor of Old Dominion. Make that 13-12 with under 11 minutes remaining in the half. Mark Pogue, one of the 4 that came off the bench along with that man, Bowdler. Mike Byers also came in along with Michael Williams, and Byers has the ball, gets a high screen from Bowdler, and now Williams.
In his own defense, North Carolina making sure that they know where Pogue is at all times.
Byers puts up the 3. Rebounded uncontested by Okulaja. Tar Heels now look to get the lead back.
It is a great battle between Bassett and Hayward.
Here's Max Owens, baseline, close, and traveling.
Old Dominion's man-to-man defense has been very solid for the most part this evening, and they're doing a great job keeping the ball out of the hands of Ed Cota.
These two clubs have met 4 times previously. As you look at the turnover situation, Tar Heels with a big 7. North Carolina's won all 4 of the previous meetings, including a 98-79 win in the 94-95 season.
What a rebound.
Bassett's back, rejected by Hayward.
So much for that attempt.
Yeah. Impressive rebound, equally impressive block by the big fella inside for the Tar Heels. And as the ball trickles over the end line, Old Dominion will keep it. As you look at it one more time.
Marty, thus far this season, Haywood has done a nice job making his presence felt on the inside without fouling. Watch as he goes straight up in the air to block the shot, not picking up the foul.
Steal by Okulaja, lead it up to Cota. He's ahead of the pack, and he bounces it off of his leg. You're not going to see that happen very often.
That may be the only time you see that all year, Marty.
Yeah. Third turnover now for Ed Cota. 13-12 it remains. Old Dominion with 9:40 to go in the first half. That block a moment ago by Haywood, by the way, the 20th rejection he's had this season. He obviously leads the Tar Heels in that department, with the freshman Chris Lang, or rather Brian Bursticker, coming off the bench second with 12 with 13 of them. Mark Pogue off to Bowdler. The turn around, no good. And the rebound control by North Carolina.
Not many second shot opportunities for Old Dominion, but that's a real nice play by Bowdler on the inside. Bowdler has played a very solid game thus far.
Yes, he has. Here's Pogue still trying to come up with something, and that he does. His 5th attempt, he drains the 3. That's his 22nd three-point goal of the season. He came in hitting almost 50% of his three-point shots so far this season. Max Owens behind the screen. Got it. That's a 3.
And Owens is a fellow that I think has really improved substantially from the first game of the season. And as he continues his progress, the Tar Heels as a team are going to be much better.
16-15, Old Dominion by 1. Monarchs with the ball. Here's a drive by McCullum. He stops, gets it outside to Byers.
North Carolina doing a nice job preventing penetration to the basket. That's tough pass.
Quick hands by Cota. Slapped it off. Owens picks it up. Now Capel, and standing on the sideline. Gives it right back to the Monarchs as Brian Bursticker comes in. He'll give Okulaja a blow. Monarchs by a point. The second best start in Old Dominion school history at 6-0. They went 7-0 out of the gate in the 1960-61 season. So that's what they're trying to equal. And it would be an upset of some major proportion if they were able to pull it off here in Charlotte tonight against a Tar Heels team that's won 13 straight games in this building. From the three-point range in the corner, Pogue misses again.
Pogue has not been able to convert out of the set offense, Marty. In the transition, he doesn't really have the defense covering. That's really a nice play by Cota to recover that ball.
Whistle, foul call. Brian Kersey spots a violation. And that mass of humanity, this is against Mark Pogue. It's going to be his first.
North Carolina thus far doing a great job in their set defense, making sure that Pogue has difficult looks from the three-point range. The one three-pointer that he converted was in transition.
Max Owens leaves, and we get our first look tonight at Brad Frederick, the 6'5 senior out of Lawrence, Kansas. And now before the throws, we've got a timeout with 7 minutes and 46 seconds to go. It's a one-point ball game. Close first half here in Charlotte. Monarchs 16 and the Tar Heels 15. We'll be back. 16-15 in favor of Old Dominion. This telecast a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the video or audio portions of this program without prior written permission of Raycom is forbidden.
Marty, we might mention that foul was ruled a non-shooting foul.
Tar Heels will just make the inbounds pass. Bursticker, Cota, Haywood, Capel, and Brad Frederick in the lineup for North Carolina. The pass goes into Cota. Tar Heels down by 1. Cota to Capel. Bowdler and Haywood matched up inside. It's been interesting to watch these two big guys get after it. 18 on the shot clock. Bounce feed it off to Bursticker. Has it knocked away. Got it back. Takes the interior pass. Puts up the jump shot. Capel got a hand on it, but fires. Gets the rebound.
Marty, to this point in the game, Brendan Haywood has only attempted 1 field goal, and he missed that.
How about that move? Against the taller Bursticker, McCullum, he's got a chance.
That's great quickness. He's shown us his quickness a couple of times. But North Carolina needs to try to get Haywood a little bit more involved. There they go.
And he's hammered. Nice pass on the interior, and he'll be at the line this time for sure as a result of Old Dominion's foul. This one against McCullum, his first.
And North Carolina is most effective getting the ball to Haywood when they can get it to him close to the basket so he doesn't have to dribble or to make any moves. Just turn and shoot the short jump shot or the layup or attempt the dunk, and that time he drew the foul.
All of Haywood's points, numbering 3 from the line as Bursticker leads and Chris Lang returns.
Marty, when Lang went out of the game previously with his 2 fouls, they took him to the locker room. He had fallen, they said, a little bit funny on his knee. They just checked him out and they decided he was fine. I don't know what that means, falling funny on your knee.
McCullum taking it into the land of the Giants. And Cota comes out with the ball.
That was a great defensive play by Okulaja.
Cota started to turn the corner, opted to give it up to Capel instead. Now to Frederick, and right back to the junior point guard for North Carolina.
Actually, that was Lang. Okulaja's not even in the game. See, he's such a great player. You notice he does things when he's on the bench.
Close enough. There's a foul on Williams. And that is 16 fouls already on Old Dominion. North Carolina's been charged with only 3. 6:25 remaining in the half, and Tar Heels will inbounds with Capel to act as the trigger man.
Now here's Williams matched up against Cota.
Ball partially deflected, loose on the floor. Haywood, they tie it up, and it'll be Tar Heels ball. Possession arrow pointing toward the North Carolina end.
And the discussion that the referees have to have is, did anybody really have possession of the ball? And the ruling is no, it was a simultaneous possession, so therefore North Carolina gets the ball, but the possession arrow will change.
A Monarch is down as Okulaja comes back in for North Carolina, and Terrence Newby, 6'2" sophomore out of Siler City, comes in for the first time tonight as we look at the scramble again.
Now they've reset the shot clock, Marty. Let's take a look at this. The new rule is when the defense causes a held ball, the defense gets the ball. So there's the pass inside. The ball's going to get loose. And now McCullum is on it. And he's tied up by Cota. And they reset the shot clock because the ball did hit the rim. It was a shot. So the ruling is going to be that it was simultaneous possession, and when it's simultaneous possession, then you go to the possession arrow, and McCullum limps off. He has been very effective for Old Dominion, so they'd certainly like to see him back.
This sometimes gets to be something akin to brain surgery, doesn't it?
What, this held ball rule?
It's amazing.
Marty, I'm telling you what, I wish that they would just go back to the old days, and when they get a held ball situation, you throw it up and it's a jump ball.
I agree. Absolutely. Here's Capel. He puts up one and knocks it down. He took it right into some serious traffic.
He has been very effective in the first half.
An 8-point first half for Jason Capel, and they are all tied at 18 apiece with 5:50 to go in the half. So far, we have had 2 low-scoring basketball games.
Oh, what a move!
Nice drive by Michael Williams.
Well, he's not afraid of the tall guys inside either.
Terrence Newby off to Chris Lang as North Carolina tries to answer. Capel with a hot hand draws a double team. Finds Newby. Old Dominion playing some fine defense. Here's a jump hooked off the baseline by Lang that hardly got there.
Old Dominion has shown the willingness to attack the basket, and Mike Williams, he just leaves Terrence Newby standing out there. Capel goes for the block, but Haywood and Lang not able to get over to contest the play.
Inbounds underneath, put it up and in by Okulaja.
Marty, that's the kind of play he's been making all year. Just gets in and catches, makes a tough catch in traffic, and converts the basket.
Tar Heels tie at 20. Mark Pogue lets fly for 3, and that's his second of the night.
Got to have more pressure on him than that, Marty. If you notice, he had a lot of time to gather himself.
He's had 2 field goals in, 8 attempts, and both have been from outside the arc. Okulaja comes around the screen, misses a jump shot. Haywood gets a rebound, but he got it because he pushed off big time, and that's his second foul. Ed Cota comes back into the Tar Heels lineup, and Terrence Newby will leave.
Marty, Bowdler has not been a big factor offensively, but Lang now has 2 fouls and Haywood has 2 fouls. So Bowdler, simply by being active, that was just a hustle play. He got off that screen, got back to Haywood, blocked him out, and caused Haywood to come over his back.
23-20 Old Dominion.
Now let's see if they go at Bowdler, trying to get him the ball on the inside, pick up their 3rd foul on Haywood.
Here's the cutter, and deflected out of bounds. A quick hands by Ed Cota on the pass intended for Michael Williams, and with the clock showing 12 seconds on the shot clock, Old Dominion will trigger.
Oh, nice catch by Okulaja. You saw that play coming.
Tar Heels keep it.
And look who's coming up with the ball.
Yeah. We talked about him at the top of the telecast before this game. He does so many things that oftentimes don't show up on the final stat sheet. Here's Haywood. In and out. He has been something of a non-factor so far in this ball game.
I just don't think he's as effective, Marty, when he has to dribble the ball. If you can make him dribble the ball, I think that if you can push him far enough from the basket, so to make his move, he's got to dribble it. I think his effectiveness decreases.
Missing on the 3 is Williams, followed by Bowdler. No good. He thought he was fouled. No whistle on the play. Okulaja off to Cota.
Oh, wow, what a screen that was.
Okulaja to the basket foul, and another Old Dominion player is down.
He ran into Haywood. That's Williams. Remember, Haywood weighs 265 pounds. There's not a lot of give there. And that's another example of Ed Cota getting his body so close to the screener that the defenders got no room to get through. It's an excellent job by Cota using the screen. Haywood's going to step in, stop, and he just bangs right into him. But there's no, you can't see any space between Cota and Haywood. That is some screen.
70% free throw shooter, the senior from Berlin, Germany.
Cota just gets close enough to the screen, and Bowdler actually doesn't help his teammate very much. But again, you don't want Cota getting by, so Bowdler got off to force Cota to pass the ball.
Brendan Haywood sits down, and Bursticker and Lang are now up front with Okulaja as he cans the second shot. And we got a timeout on the floor with 3:24 remaining in the first half. Old Dominion up 2 as we take a look at our Aflac trivia question going through the break. Which player holds the NCAA record for three-point shooting in a single game? The answer when we return. Old Dominion's had the lead for the lion's share of this first half, and they're up 23-20 now. You saw the question going to the break, which player holds the NCAA record for three-point shooting in a single game. He's in the building tonight, and not in the lineup at the moment, but as ODU's Mark Pogue, rather impressive 9 for 9 last year against the Keydets of VMI. There he is on the floor. Tonight, he's had 2 field goals, both from outside the line, and his most recent one is responsible for the Old Dominion lead, 23-21.
North Carolina goes to the zone defense, and again, when you're in the zone, you always have to make sure you know where Pogue is so you don't give him an open look.
There he is. Jason Capel.
Rebound.
You're not kidding. Off to Ed Cota.
Bowdler doing a nice defensive job on the inside.
Capel got a screen, but it's a good defense to break through it. Shot clock at 12 seconds. Cota goes to the offensive set.
Boy, that's a nice job by Pierre Green. Green did a great job moving his feet, forcing Cota to give up the ball.
And Capel comes back with the intercept on the pass intended for Pogue at the other end. And Okulaja coughs it up.
Look at Bowdler run the court. Wow.
25-21, Old Dominion. They have been at times very, very impressive here in the first half.
Well, what Bowdler has done is basically shut off the North Carolina inside game. We haven't heard too much from Lang and from Haywood and from Bursticker on the inside this evening, and I think Bowdler deserves the lion's share of the credit for that.
Pierre Green checking Cota in the open court, sending the Carolina point guard to the free throw line as Chris Lang leaves. Brendan Haywood comes back, and Mike Byers is back in, replacing Clifton Jones for Old Dominion.
Bowdler has not been involved in the offense very much in the half-court situation, so he decides, okay, he's going to get out and run a little bit in transition. You like to have your 6'11" guy get up and down the court like that. And one of the things that Cota is experiencing tonight is Old Dominion is doing a great job rotating a number of different guys against him. Williams has played against him. Green has played against him. Bryant is now in the game, going to guard him. So they keep throwing fresh bodies at Ed Cota, hoping that maybe when we get deep into the second half, they can wear him down a little bit.
25-22 after the 2 successes by Ed Cota. Mike Byers, Freddie Bryant are the backliners right now for Jeff Capel. Andre McCullum is back in the lineup. That's Bowdler turning, having the ball knocked away, recovered by the Tar Heels. Cota turns it up the floor.
Pogue with the block, and Bowdler again has his hands on the loose ball.
He nails another one, does Mark Pogue.
And that's another one in transition, Marty. Even though Bursticker was running at him, Pogue had a lot of time.
Biggest Old Dominion lead now, 28-23. And again, fouled in the open court is Ed Cota. This time it's Freddie Bryant who gets him.
Again, we talked about the fact that they're running a lot of guys against Cota, and Cota is working very hard on the dribble of the basketball. The defense collapses around Byers, and they lose Pogue, and that's one guy you do not want to lose. And that's right in front of the North Carolina bench, and I think you let them know about it.
Cota with another one in between the free throw attempts. Max Owens is back in, replacing Okulaja.
Talked about the importance of the three-point field goal if you're going to spring an upset, and Old Dominion's made 5 of them.
3 of them by the man you expect to make them for the Monarchs, and in Mark Pogue. Cota perfect from the line, 4 for 4 tonight, drawing his team to within 3 points at 28-25, 60 ticks of the clock remaining of this first half.
Marty, and you're beginning to sense some apprehension on the part of the North Carolina faithful.
Bowdler losing it out of bounds, but touched last by a Tar Heel.
It was Ed Cota that got in there. Great job by Cota, who recognized the play, dropped down off his man, and deflected the ball away.
13 seconds on the shot clock.
And ODU has to be aware of what's on the shot clock.
Now 7, now 6.
And the coaching staff pointing, saying, hey, guys, get going.
They call the foul. With 1 second on the shot clock, Pogue went airborne for the shot and was fouled by Jason Capel.
You not only, Marty, have to be aware of the shot clock when you're on offense, but on defense as well. And I think Jason Capel just lost track of how much time was left on the shot clock. You go up, you get your hand up, you make that a tough shot, but you certainly don't foul it with just a couple of seconds left on the shot clock. He really bailed him out.
You're wondering if Pogue's a good free throw shooter. The answer is yes. I mean, one of the premier long-range shooters in the game. He's an 81% foul line shooter.
There's Bowdler again.
And he makes the basket and bursting the foul.
That was with his left hand, Marty. What a strong play by Bowdler. Now, ODU, they're getting very excited with this lead, and they have a right to be pleased with the way they played. But I'm telling you, you're going to have to drive that wooden stake deeper in than they have at this point. That's just a great rebound by Bowdler. The long rebound makes it difficult for the inside guy to block out. Bowdler, who has shown great hands all night long, recovers another ball and sticks it back in the basket.
And Bowdler has a 10-point first half. 32-25, a 7-point lead for the Monarchs. 21 on the shot clock and about the same on the game clock.
And Old Dominion has been able to shut off North Carolina's inside game, Marty. They've put a lot of pressure on Ed Cota, and Haywood and Lang have simply not been factored.
And Cota drains a 3. They rush it up the floor. The Monarchs, Clifton Jones, no good, and that is the completion of the first 20 minutes of play. And a very impressive Old Dominion Monarch club. They have to be very pleased with themselves after the first half of this game. That man in particular, Coach Jeff Capel, at the break. Old Dominion 32, North Carolina 28. Our halftime show coming up in a moment.
The Food Lion MVP Classic is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Isn't it time for a real car? Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits, the official biscuit of breakfast. Toyota, every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota, every day. And Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
And without further ado, we take a look at the important numbers, the Nations Bank halftime stats, Dan.
Marty, it's very interesting. North Carolina only 19 field goal attempts in the first half. They've turned the ball over 11 times, doing a pretty good job from the free throw line. Ed Cota in particular has gotten there a few times. Old Dominion, very important, those 5 3-point goals. They've also scored 12 points off turnovers. A very solid first half for Old Dominion.
Now, speaking of Ed Cota, he had the last 7 points of the first half of North Carolina. And Old Dominion with the ball to start half number 2. They lead by 4. Bowdler and Mark Pogue, they were the mainliners in half 1 for Jeff Capel's team.
And keep in mind, the Tar Heels start the second half with both Lang and Haywood, 2 personal fouls.
Here's Pogue coming off the screen, got off the shot. Rebounded by Ed Cota.
Very good defensive play by Jason Capel.
So Old Dominion misfires on its first attempt of half number 2, and now the Tar Heels take a shot. Cota on the move, beats Williams, loops it inside, deflected away, and the shot rejected. And the rebound controlled by Pogue of Old Dominion.
And Bowdler not only deflected it, but then he blocked it. And Bassett, I think, just picked up his 3rd personal foul going over the back.
That's not going to help the Old Dominion cause.
No, the foul's not on Bassett.
No, it's on North Carolina.
So it's on Haywood. Haywood's 3rd personal foul.
So 3 fouls on Brendan Haywood.
Boy, Williams gets in the lane very effectively, and then Haywood commits the foul. But again, a transition opportunity for Old Dominion created by Bowdler.
Good rejection by Lang. Follow shot up and good. And Old Dominion, as Bowdler comes in to knock the follow shot down. He's got 12 points, and Old Dominion leads by 6.
Marty, he has got great hands. He catches everything that comes anywhere close.
There's Haywood, stripped of the ball, and standing on the baseline after the strip was Mike Byers. Brendan Haywood was all set for 2 points, and all of a sudden the ball was gone.
That's a good screen, and Haywood is open inside, but he brings the ball down and gives that little guy a chance to get it.
Capel needing to find somebody, finally finds Haywood.
Now he's a big target.
Yes, he is. Cota calls out the play. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Looping it inside, and there's a weak side help, and here's Haywood, and the ball's knocked around, and that's going to be an Old Dominion foul. It's going to put a Tar Heel on the line.
Haywood gets great position inside, but again, Bowdler comes flying into the picture and is going to pin that ball on the board. Here comes Bowdler, and he's just not able to control it. The ball goes right back to Haywood, and Bassett doesn't move his feet and picks up his 3rd personal foul.
So Haywood 3 for North Carolina, Bassett 3 for Old Dominion, and that is the only way that Brendan Haywood's been able to score tonight from the foul line. He does not have a field goal.
Well, we talked about North Carolina, only 19 field goal attempts in the first half, and one reason is they've been to the free throw line so much. You don't get credited with a field goal attempt if there's a foul on the try for goal.
34-30, Bowdler. The freshman Lang behind him. He shoots a reach around and got it to go in.
Again, North Carolina elected to play mostly one-on-one down on the inside there. Cota faking some help, but not coming down to help.
That's going to be a foul. Late whistle from Larry Rose, and he gets the whistle against Mike Williams, his 2nd foul.
Bowdler, the senior, very effective inside player. It's going to be real difficult for Lang to guard him inside without help. You see the fake, freezes Lang, and then he just dips underneath him. Excellent play. Cota's going to, I think, have to think about dropping down and making Bowdler throw that ball back out.
36-30, Old Dominion. From Cota, it goes to Okulaja, out front to Jason Capel. Here's Haywood making his move. Give it to Cota. Put it up. Put it in. Nice pass by Brendan Haywood to the cutting Cota. And again, the Tar Heels pull to within 4. Old Dominion outstanding so far tonight. Here's Byers handling against Capel, who gives him a lot of room to work. Now Bowdler comes out to set the high screen. Byers drives, put it up too strong. Haywood rebounds.
He was worried about the charge because Cota was there, and he was worried about Haywood.
Thought about it, did the big guy. Now Capel, as Williams runs at him. Okulaja, work it low to Chris Lang with a jump hook. He throws up an air ball. It's been a long night for this freshman from Gastonia. Byers for 3.
Old Dominion has really, that's the 3rd or 4th three-point basket they've made in transition. They do a great job looking for that spot up 3 on the fast break.
Byers has had 2 field goals all night, and both have been from outside the line. That builds the Old Dominion lead to 7. Haywood can't answer at the other end, but Okulaja's tip does.
That's, again, great defense by Bowdler, and again, you can see Haywood, when he dribbles the ball, is not as effective as if he can just turn and shoot.
Bowdler goes outside. Didn't get the bounce, and here's Chris Lang.
And that's not a good shot. Old Dominion, you can start playing with too much confidence. You need to stick with what has been successful for you.
How about Cota with a fly pass, and Okulaja, contact made underneath the Tar Heels basket. Okulaja will be on the free throw line.
That foul's against Code. When Ed Cota is able to beat the exterior defense there, he just jukes right around Williams. I don't know how he saw Okulaja.
It's amazing.
This is just a great play. He goes right into Bowdler, and I think he was actually trying to draw a foul, but I don't know how he saw Okulaja coming down the lane. That's a great pass.
Right now, free throws are about all that's keeping North Carolina within reasonable striking distance.
Now, I think Bowdler is coming out of the game, so Jeff Capel can tell him, big guy, don't shoot the ball from that range. We want you inside.
Got them both. Tar Heels back to within 4 with 16 minutes remaining in the game. Old Dominion led 32-28 at the half. The Carolina fans hoping for a defensive stop here.
Well, as Old Dominion has played, they're only up by 3, and they have to keep the pressure on with scores.
They continue to come up with a big basket when they need it. Michael Williams makes it a 41-36 game.
Now, keep in mind, Bassett has 3 fouls, and he is matched up against Haywood on the inside.
That's Brad Frederick, who just came off the Tar Heels bench. Capel looking down low to Haywood. The Monarchs continue to do an outstanding defensive job on North Carolina's 7-footer. He gets the ball now. He draws a crowd. He throws his shot up and in, and he was fouled. His first field goal of the evening.
And that's 4 fouls on Bassett.
Yes, sir. 4 personals on Reggie Bassett, forcing Jeff Capel to bring Cal Bowdler back in. And Bassett leads, and Haywood will shoot.
And Haywood just takes a step into the lane and moves his big body into a position where Bassett is really in trouble. And for Bassett, just have to put your hands up in the air. You can't reach in across as he did.
Ball rebounded by the Tar Heels, and Okulaja brings it back outside.
Marty, what a great decision to bring it back out so he could balance himself and get an opportunity for 2 more.
Cota puts it up. Good. He's a magician, Dan.
When he gets the ball inside, he is very, very dangerous. You got to keep him out of there, but that's a whole lot easier to say than it is to do.
North Carolina fans have not had a whole lot to get excited about tonight. They're revved up at the moment as the Tar Heels have pulled to within 1. And here's Pogue for 3. And the Tar Heels rebound.
Didn't have his feet set, Marty.
Okulaja back to Cota. And he's fouled. The foul against Michael Williams, that's his 3rd. And play is stopped on the court. 14 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this one. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game. Old Dominion 41, North Carolina 40. Back after this message from Food Lion. Well, the spurred by North Carolina has drawn Bill Guthridge's team to within 1. And to say that Old Dominion is in some foul trouble is something of an understatement.
Bassett on the bench with 4 personal fouls. Michael Williams, who's done an outstanding job thus far this evening in trying to defend against Ed Cota, has 3 personal fouls. And Marty, North Carolina has really shown a lot of poise. Even though they got down in the game, there has never been any panic on the part of the Tar Heels. And now they're coming back in the game. And it's time to see what kind of poise Old Dominion can show. Ronald Curry's in the game.
Yep.
It's an interesting time to put him in.
Ronald Curry entered the Tar Heels lineup for the first time tonight. Ed Cota controls, gives it off to the freshman basketball player. Now into Okulaja, and as he made his move on the baseline, he was fouled. A note on Curry, he is pretty much now with the basketball team full time. We were talking with Steve Kirshner, who's in charge of basketball media dissemination before the game tonight. He was saying Carl Torbush, a football coach at North Carolina said, look, we're not going to put anything new in for the Las Vegas Bowl against San Diego State. And he said, you really don't need to be around all the time. He's with the team this weekend, and he's going to be with them for the Buffalo game on the 8th as he throws one up and it fails to go down. And McCollum controls.
Interesting to see how he can integrate himself into this North Carolina team that is playing very well together with some pretty well-defined roles at the moment.
Here's Bowdler. Bank shot no good. Okulaja rebound.
That's pretty good defense by Haywood with 3 personal fouls.
Another note on Curry. He'll also play against UNC Charlotte on the 12th. And Torbush has said the Louisville game on the 17th, if you want to play that game and then fly out to Las Vegas on the 18th, football game on the 19th, you can do it. And a traveling violation is
3-second violation on Haywood.
3 seconds on the big guy inside. Turns it right back over to Old Dominion, who maintains a 1-point lead with just over 13 minutes remaining.
You know, it's interesting, Marty. Haywood does not appear to be as confident playing against Bowdler as he does against Bassett. That time he got the 3-second violation because he started to make a move and stopped.
Off the ball as a bang inside. I think Brad Frederick fouled Clifton Jones.
Jones at 6'7", playing the backcourt, playing a backcourt spot for Old Dominion. Actually, he's playing what they would call the small forward or 3 spot right now, but he's capable of playing in the backcourt, and that puts a lot of pressure on a guy like Brad Frederick, who's not quite that size.
Okulaja made a bid for the steal, and he fouls Cal Bowdler.
That's not a bad play. It's a good aggressive play. If you get the ball, it really might turn the whole momentum in the game around. Don't really hurt anything with a foul right there.
If you're wondering about team fouls, North Carolina's had 3 here in the second half. Old Dominion with 5. Pierre Green.
Man-to-man for North Carolina.
Inside Bowdler, turn around, put it up, no good.
You know, Marty, he looked to the corner and shot the ball.
So North Carolina's had numerous chances to get the lead. On the other hand, Old Dominion's had numerous chances to extend the 1-point advantage. Both teams have come up empty the last few times down the floor. Chris Lang off to Jason Capel. Jump hook, no good.
That's a great rebound by Pierre Green.
And goes coast to coast.
Well, he's going to do it all. That is a great, great play by Pierre Green. You can understand why they're so high on this young man at Old Dominion.
43-40 as the Monarchs get a bit more breathing room. Cota put it up, no good. Follow shot from the other side is.
Cota put it up, no good, Marty, but in so doing, he drew the defenders to him, so nobody's around to block out. So Cota kills you even when he misses the shot in there.
Yeah, Ron Curry came in from the other side to convert, pulling North Carolina back to within a point. Pierre Green works it outside to Andre McCullum. He had his outstanding moments in the first half. And there's contact. Pretty good acting job right there by Clifton Jones, but it was good enough to get the whistle from Larry Rose and a foul against Jason Capel. And with that, a timeout with 11:19 remaining. As you take a look at Pierre Green running the floor for the conversion at the ODU end. Right now, the Monarchs are up by 1, and here's Green. One-point ball game, 43-42 Old Dominion as we, I love the earrings, run the Jeep storyline by you if you'd like to take a look at it.
Has been a very entertaining ball game. ODU, we mentioned earlier, with some foul trouble. Reggie Bassett with 4 in particular, and North Carolina making a living at the free throw line. And Cal Bowdler for Old Dominion, an outstanding game thus far, although he's missed a couple of close-in shots in the last few minutes.
Jason Capel was called for the foul just prior to the timeout. Bowdler moving on Okulaja. Nice turnaround jump shot.
When again, he started to lose control of that ball, Marty, with those good hands, got it back and was able to convert.
The lead goes back to 3, 45-42 Monarchs. Ron Curry gets the screen from Chris Lang, gives to Cota for 3, and the tie.
Boy, Cota's played well tonight.
A 16-point night for Ed Cota. And the Tar Heels have tied it at 45 on that 3. And Curry commits a foul off the ball, trying to keep up with the likes of Pierre Green.
Now keep in mind that Ronald Curry has not had a great deal of time to practice with the basketball team, and even though he is an outstanding athlete, it's going to take him some time to get in basketball shape, to get used to making the kinds of moves, the mechanics, if you will, of playing basketball. They're different from football.
Rebounded by Haywood. So North Carolina now looks to get the lead as Capel comes front court, goes baseline, put it up and in. A 10-point game for the son of the Old Dominion coach. North Carolina 47, Old Dominion 45. Pierre Green and the Monarchs. Clifton Jones on top to McCollum, and they're going to have wholesale substitutions. They meeting the Monarchs in a moment. Bowdler spinning and laying it in.
Boy, what a big factor he has been in this game. He wanted the ball that time. North Carolina again electing to play one-on-one defensively down on the inside. That's just a great move by Bowdler.
He is the top scorer in the game with 18 of them. 47 Tar Heels, 47 Monarchs. Okulaja looked low to Curry, nothing there. Now Capel. Baseline to Okulaja inside Haywood. Puts it on the floor, gets it back outside. Okulaja fake, thought about it. And now to the cutting Capel, stripped to the ball and foul.
That's a great cut by Jason Capel, and Okulaja is really good at looking for those kinds of passes. It's really important to understand when a pass is available, and he just sees Capel cutting down the lane and gets an excellent bounce pass. And Old Dominion looking for some scoring as North Carolina's made a pretty good run. You can see Bowdler has Haywood all to himself, and even though Haywood's 7 feet tall, Bowdler with that nice little left-handed move.
North Carolina's made major inroads at the free throw line tonight. Max Owens is in for Ronald Curry. Michael Williams is back. Michael Byers is back for Old Dominion, along with Mark Pogue, who has not scored, by the way, in the second half.
Well, again, I'm very impressed by the poise of this North Carolina team. Understanding that it's a 40-minute game and you don't have to get everything back at once. Now it's important for Old Dominion to respond.
49-47 Tar Heels.
Yeah, that is
not a good pass, and Pogue was able to handle it. Whoa. McCollum deflected out of bounds by Okulaja.
Now, you don't want to get carried away if you're Old Dominion. A little bit of nervousness there, possibly, Marty. The pass to Pogue right at his ankles. Then McCollum very nearly walking and lucky to get the ball back. 5 on the shot clock.
Under 10 minutes remaining, and a big 3. Wow. Michael Williams.
That was from beyond the NBA rim.
Yes, indeed it was, and that makes it a 53-49 ball game. That's not right.
No, it is not.
Here's a jumper off the baseline that's good by Capel, and they got the score all fouled up at the moment.
Well, it's 51-50. North Carolina is what the correct score is.
And they just, Dan, you're truly amazing. You are a Renaissance man.
I try.
You certainly are. Here's Michael Byers off the high screen by Cal Bowdler.
Well, they need to get Bowdler down on the block.
Yep. Here's a 3 by McCollum. Capel's doing a heck of a job right now against his dad's ball club. Max Owens for 3.
McCollum is now 0 for 9 on the year from three-point range. He's going to stop shooting those eventually.
51-50 Tar Heels, under 8 on the clock. South Carolina defeated the College of Charleston in the first game tonight.
That's a tough pass.
And the steal by Cota on a poor pass. How about those moves?
Wow. You can't be serious.
Cota has 18.
I mean, he turned those guys around so many times they were dizzy.
All right, 7 minutes to go, 7:20. Is it gut check time now for Old Dominion?
I don't think there's any question. I think they need to get the ball inside to Bowdler if they can. Or give it to Pogue.
First time he has scored here in the second half, and that qualifies as humongous. 53-53 tie, 7:05 to go.
That is a big, big basket.
Yeah.
And that's a great hustle play by McCollum. He's not able to come up with it, but again, he's shown tremendous quickness.
Capel trying to find Okulaja. Brad Frederick and Ron Curry will be on the Tar Heel front line when we return. It's a tie ball game, 53-53, and we'll be back. They're all knotted up, 53-53, the Tar Heels and the Old Dominion Monarchs, as we take a look at our great clips, clip of the game, and watch Ed Cota.
And I'm telling you, there's Byers, who's turned around 2 or 3 times. Cota changes hands, dribbles behind his back. That is one great clip.
Yeah. North Carolina, for the record, a 56% second half from the field. Old Dominion 47. We mentioned Brad Frederick and Ronald Curry back in the Tar Heels lineup, joining Cota, Okulaja, and Haywood. Here's Cota again. This one rejected by Bowdler. Cota went to the well once too often. Fadeaway is up, no good. And Okulaja claims it. That's
a shot that Bassett has been converting. That's a shot that your big guy, 6'9", has to finish on the inside. Bassett struggled with those kinds of shots last year in a tough season for Old Dominion, but he's been doing a better job finishing this year. Didn't get it done that time.
There has been some wolfing going on tonight on the part of both teams. Cota, Frederick drives, put it up, got it. Off the bench, Brad Frederick contributes.
And that's a big basket coming off the bench. Very few other Tar Heels have been able to get it up over Bowdler in this second half.
55-53, the Tar Heels lead with 5:50 remaining.
And you just get the feeling that Old Dominion has to answer.
Yeah.
Okulaja now matched up inside against Bowdler.
12 on the shot clock. Here's the Springer, rejected by Haywood. Quick pass inside, turn around, blocked again. The rejection by Haywood, but the foul is on Okulaja. How about a recovery for the big man?
Well, Haywood blocks a shot out beyond the three-point line and then is very quick in getting down inside to block another one. Haywood, you think, well, a guy who's 7 feet tall is going to be pretty slow, but Haywood does a nice job. He's coming inside to help out. He can see Bassett has good position. That's just great hustle by the big guy.
Bassett has not scored tonight. No longer.
And Bassett, Marty, comes in as the leading ODU scorer at over 15 points a game.
Bassett, a senior out of Highland Springs High School in Richmond. 55. 53, 54, and now the shot that, if good, will tie it up. One-point ball game, Tar Heels with a ball.
Now, even though there's more than 5 minutes left in the game, I think this becomes a pretty big defensive series right here. Old Dominion needs to stay within close striking distance. You just don't want to be in a situation at the end of the game where Cota is going to dribble you out of it.
Ronald Curry takes it baseline, has it batted away, got it back, and is able to get it back outside to Capel.
Oh, what a move.
Out of bounds to Old Dominion.
And Cota very nearly was able to knock that ball off Bowdler and recover it for North Carolina. I thought that ball was going in the basket.
Under 5 minutes remaining in a one-point game. 55-54. Curry has Michael Williams out front.
They have a little problem. The coaching staff knows what play they want run, but the team a little difficult setting it up.
Capel battling for the rebound and comes out with it.
That's a great rebound. Took it right away from Bowdler. In that confusion, they actually got a real good shot from Pope.
The tip and goes. Indeed. The senior comes up with a big tip for the Tar Heels and extends their lead to 3 at 57-54. Exactly 4 minutes remaining. Big trip down the floor for the men of Jeff Capel. Pope
Zone defense
and gets it.
Shot clock.
Out of the right pocket, in and out, no good. Here's Bowdler, follow it up and in. What a big-time player this kid is.
Again, really impressed by he has got nice soft hands, but they're very, very strong.
Great size, 6'10", 245-pounder. A one-point game that goes inside to Haywood. He puts it up and in.
And Marty, he has not been able to do that. That is catch and shoot right next to the basket very often tonight. That is a great pass by Cota.
Only his second field goal all night long. Haywood with 9 points. The Tar Heels back up by 3. We're under 3 minutes to go.
Man-to-man defense.
Michael Williams on top against Ronald Curry. Whips it to the corner. The shot for the tie, no good, as Pogue misfires on the 3. Up ahead to Capel. Take it to the hole. Father Jeff and the Monarchs need and get a timeout. 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go. The Tar Heels on a run right now. They have jumped out in front by 5 at 61-56 and will return to Charlotte after this. That's a pretty nice play.
Jim Szoke welcoming you back to Charlotte. 61-56. Tar Heels lead by 5. A lot of great basketball to play here, but don't forget tomorrow. We've got Old Dominion versus South Carolina in Game 1 coming up at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And that'll be followed by North Carolina versus the College of Charleston in the final game of the 4. Back to Marty and Dan.
Thanks, Jim. Pretty good run by the Tar Heels, Dan.
Excellent run by the Tar Heels. And again, you just have to be impressed with the poise of the entire team, but particularly the poise of freshman Jason Capel. He has not been afraid to try to make plays, and he has been successful. 16 points ties his career high.
61-56, 2.5 minutes remaining.
And now North Carolina in the zone defense. Pogue, who's missed a couple, hesitates on pulling the trigger right there, but Bowdler,
he answers. 22 points.
Well, now Old Dominion needs a defensive stop. North Carolina has been very efficient with their offensive execution in the second half, and Old Dominion needs to get a stop right here. North Carolina will probably use as much of the clock as they have to, and again, they're not concerned about that. They play very well in late clock situations. And here's why. They just spread it out and let Capel operate. Cota operate.
6-5 on the shot clock. He drives, he puts it up, he misses the shot, and Bowdler's there for the rebound. The Tar Heels. I don't know about that call. It looked like Haywood stripped Bowdler of the ball.
Well, I think the ball did bounce off Bowdler, the official right there on top of it. And now North Carolina calls a 20-second timeout.
Stopping the clock with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go, and the Tar Heels will have the ball coming out of this brief timeout.
Well, Bill Guthridge recognizing as Cota gets in the lane. Now, this is at the end of the shot clock, and Bowdler able to control the ball, but the ball definitely goes off Bowdler's hands out of bounds. Bill Guthridge recognizing that if North Carolina can score right here, it will put tremendous pressure on Old Dominion, so he wants to make sure they get a better look at the basket, whether it's be early in the shot clock or late than they got on that last occasion. That's a big break for North Carolina to recover the ball.
Williams and Byers and Bowdler. Reggie Bassett. And Clifton Jones are back in. Mark Pogue is on the bench as they play offense-defense, Jeff Capel does. And the Tar Heels with the ball with a fresh 35. And we've got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go and 27 on the shot clock for the Tar Heels, who lead by 3.
And you want to watch the foul. You want to be careful about the 5-second violation.
And they almost got caught in it. Brad Frederick calls a quick timeout. That's a 20.
North Carolina spread the court. Going to try to make Old Dominion chase a little bit on defense. Have a pretty good defensive sequence by Old Dominion.
Yeah.
Now, if you're ODU, you certainly don't want to foul at this point. Your objective is to play good defense without fouling. You don't want to put North Carolina on the line. But certainly, when they shoot the ball, if they miss, you want to recover. That's where ODU did not convert the last time. They forced North Carolina to miss, but they weren't able to control the rebound.
Jason Capel, Ed Cota, Brendan Haywood, Ademola Okulaja, and Brad Frederick. The lineup on the floor for the Tar Heels with 1 minute 25 to go and 12 on the shot clock.
And you better believe that Byers knows how important it is to keep Cota in front of him.
Yeah. Frederick will take the shot.
It's a huge shot. You got to. There they got the rebound.
Don't know that that's a man who Bill Guthridge wanted to take the shot, but he had a good look.
Well, he had a good look, and Bill Guthridge has him in the game, so he obviously has confidence in his skills.
Here's a shot by Williams. They maintain possession. Now the ball is loose, and the shot is up, no good, and it'll be long to Okulaja, and the foul is on Byers.
Marty, that was interesting. I don't think either of those shots were particularly good looks for Old Dominion.
So they go to the other end. Tar Heels will shoot it as Bill Guthridge across the way talks with Ed Cota. And Okulaja, who tonight has gone 3 for 4 from the line, missing his first attempt, but since hitting his last 3. North Carolina has done quite a job on the free throw line tonight. But a big miss, and the ball controlled by Old Dominion. 44 seconds to go. They trail by 3.
And they do not need a 3. They have time to get 2. But they don't have a lot of time, and whatever they do, they need to do it quickly.
North Carolina chasing all over the place. Bowdler off to Byers. 12 on the shot clock. Byers turns the corner, has the ball batted away, picked up with 6 seconds on the shot clock by Clifton Jones, and the
He made it!
ties the game. Clifton Jones hits a 3 that ties it up with 17 seconds remaining. How about that?
Marty, I don't think that particular play is in the ODU playbook. All those bounces, but Jeff Capel will take that. What a big shot, Jeff Capel.
Wait a minute, Jeff Capel wants a 20. No, they're saying
but
it's
they
a full.
already reported it as a full.
As you look at the 3 again, that ties it up. We'll be back. It has been some game, the second one of this Friday night doubleheader that's known as the Food Lion MVP Classic. You look into the Old Dominion huddle, and that's a timeout situation. North Carolina 2 fulls, no 20s. Old Dominion no fulls, 2 20s, and the possession arrow belongs to the Tar Heels with 17 seconds remaining.
And in this kind of a situation, you have to expect, as we get a look at the 3-point field goal shooting percentage, look for North Carolina to try to get the ball into Cota's hands. They have demonstrated the entire season that they can operate in short clock situations. And one thing you have to be very careful of, Cota penetrating. If he shoots the ball, even if he misses, you've got to make sure that you block out.
Well, he's got the ball, and they trap him immediately, and just as quickly, he calls timeout. Bassett and Byers all over him. And he wastes no time getting the timeout. Now, Larry Rose wants to find out what it is.
It has to be a full timeout because North Carolina doesn't have any 20-second timeouts left. You noticed Old Dominion, their strategy was obviously to try to make Cota give up the ball. So he got the ball in the corner, and they double-teamed him, and Cota, recognizing that he was in trouble, called the timeout, so now the Tar Heels can plan something else. But interesting to watch the coaching wheels turn right here.
Yeah.
If you're Jeff Capel, you want to get the ball out of the hands of Ed Cota, and if you're Bill Guthridge, that's where you want the ball to be.
15.1 seconds remaining. And let's take one more look at that game-tying three-point desperation shot that went for Clifton Jones.
Well, the ball bounces off a couple of hands, and Jones does a nice job recovering as North Carolina scrambles to get back in position. Jones gets his feet set and launches. Jones, that's his third three-point basket of the season. He came into the game 2 for 6 from three-point range. And there was a lot of helter-skelter out there, but you have to give Jones some credit. He got himself collected before he attempted that shot.
Old Dominion has been anything but shy in terms of getting up the three-point shot. 27 attempts tonight, of which they've made 9. Compare that with North Carolina, who is 4 for 7 from beyond the line. So the Tar Heels will have the ball with 15.1 seconds remaining. They led 61 to 56 and looked to be in pretty good shape. And all of a sudden, here came the Monarchs one more time.
Well, now keep in mind, Marty, that the strategy for North Carolina has to be, whether they make it or miss it, to take the last shot of the game.
Right.
You want to shoot the ball at a point in time where it would be impossible for ODU to get the ball and get down the court and shoot it. So North Carolina wants to hold it as long as they can. And the worst case scenario for North Carolina is they go to overtime. You either want to win it or take it to overtime.
Here comes Cota. He splits the double team. He gets it front court with 10 seconds on the clock.
Now they're going to spread the court and let Cota operate.
5, 4, 3. Cota up. Cota scores. With 1.5 seconds remaining, Ed Cota banks it in. And are we surprised in any way? Old Dominion calls timeout. They've got to go the length of the floor in 1.5 seconds.
Marty, that is perfect execution. Cota takes a look up at the clock and then penetrates to the basket. What a great play. You obviously don't want to foul him, but I'm telling you, once he gets his head and shoulders past, he is going to do some damage. Great stutter step. Okulaja does a nice job to screen Bassett away from the play so he can't get the blocked shot. So little things working very well for the Tar Heels, but that's just excellent execution. We talked before the game about the decision-making that North Carolina has demonstrated thus far in the season, and you can see it again right there. Just a great play by Cota to get to the basket and a real fine play by Okulaja to screen potential defenders away. Now 1.5, enough time to catch and shoot, so North Carolina cannot relax defensively. Haywood is going to try to make it difficult for Jones to throw the ball.
Ed Cota with a season-high 20 points. The pass.
And it's dropped.
And it was not gotten off in time, and North Carolina hangs on to defeat the Old Dominion Monarchs. Final score 63 to 61. And that man right there, in fact, that shot, the one previous to that, showing Jason Capel, he and Ed Cota had an awful lot to do with North Carolina escaping with a 2-point victory here tonight.
Marty, I think that's a good way to describe it, but North Carolina showed tremendous poise. Old Dominion led for most of the game, but you never saw any panic on the part of the Tar Heels. They came back in the game. They made the plays they needed to make down the stretch. Excellent execution, particularly in the last 17 seconds of the game as the Tar Heels made very good decisions, and Ed Cota hits the basket that wins the game.
And I'll tell you what, based on what we saw tonight, as you see father and son embracing, it's going to be a very successful season for Jeff Capel and his Old Dominion Monarchs, a fine ball club. We'll be back and take a look at our Food Lion MVP of this very